She's watching me stack as the water, my cap and fold.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back for the second series of tonight here for the AEC Rainbow Six Minor League. Day 2. I am Bluepanda, joined still by Sam. Man, it's been an interesting night so far.
Back and forth, upside down. I don't think it could have got any more dramatic if we tried.
I mean, there's these ways that it could have happened, but with isolation and lockdowns in place, it probably wouldn't have happened. You know, the old fight out the back of the Kmart car park would have been the go, but since you can't leave the house, it's probably not what's going to happen. We are heading into our second series of the night, Downfall versus Unrefined. Rather unknown teams, all said and done, I believe. We've got some new faces here and a new organisation as well. So it's definitely going to be a proving point for them. They want to establish themselves in the scene as it is and make a mark on amateur Rainbow Six and OCE.
Yeah, and so any second now we should see the map bans coming in, with the first one from Downfall being Clubhouse.
I mean, yeah, Clubhouse and Villa both being banned away. A little disappointing. Villa is always a good watch. Clubhouse, that last one was a bit rough. So it's a map that can go either way rather dramatically if given the opportunity. So they have opted to ban that out. It does mean that there are a number of maps still available, the likes of Border, Coastline, Consulate, Cafe. So we could have some interesting maps coming up. They are just taking a wee while to figure their bans out. Is there any map you want to see out of the ones that are left, Sam?
I'd like to see a bit of theme park today, Panda. It's,
Lord, why do you do this to me? It's so mean.
By a lot of people, but there's so much opportunity for dynamic play and a lot of sneaky opportunities there. And I think it could be something special, something a bit different.
As much as you say, it's probably the map that I'm least familiar with since the rework. I'm still trying to figure things out as it goes. So it will be an experience if we end up with that map going into this series. They are definitely taking a wee while to figure out bans. So the first pick is going to be Coastline for Downfall. That's going to be a fun one for sure.
Coastline is a great map. Consulate is the second again. We'll see that tonight for Unrefined.
Yeah, so we'll be heading back to the Consulate. It is down to what's going to be banned out here. I imagine that it will be theme park. If it is the decider map, I think we'll find both teams a little unaware of what's going on, because there are teams that are still, getting around to practicing it since the rework. They've opted to ban it. There we go. Downfall have banned it out. So it's up to whether or not one of these three maps get banned out, whether we're going to Border, Consulate, or Cafe. Oh, sorry, not Consulate. Border or Cafe. So there is one ban to go. Are we going to be heading to Border? No, it's Cafe banned out. So we are going to be heading to Border for the decider map. So starting off on Coastline, then straight to Consulate. And it's definitely going to be an interesting series. We are just waiting on the players to get themselves sorted. But Coastline makes for some interesting play, Sam. There's obviously that run-out potential. Again, the spawn peaks. And I mean, I've definitely seen my fair share of rounds in that kitchen bomb site where things just go to hell in a handbasket in moments.
Yeah, we've talked about a lot of different operators today. We've talked about Maestro, we've talked about Valkyrie, we've talked about our favourite hard breaches. But I think this one for Coastline, I think Monty will be the deciding operator. He is such a powerful force to be reckoned with. That massive mountain of a shield that he has, Rock, is the in-game name. I think will be very influential.
Yeah, and I mean, there's so many different operators that we have seen tonight. Lethality pulled out almost like an entire football team's worth of different operators. They just couldn't find what worked for them. They have just, switched things up. Hopefully we'll be seeing a little bit more stability out of this Downfall versus Unrefined side. But like I said, they are reasonably new. So they will be looking to establish themselves. So I don't see too many shenanigans coming out here, but there's potential for some very, very interesting plays. Those spawn peaks can be absolutely pivotal, especially on a map like Coastline, and that information gathering, another impactful tool that we have seen in this game. If it doesn't work, can spell doom for either team.
Yeah, and I think once again the decider of this map might be down as to who is defending first, who is attacking first, and what our operator bans for today are.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if we see the return to a bit of normality. That Thatcher targeted out incredibly hard, as well as the Echo and defense. Then the other defender, the other attacker and defender banner sort of, pick potential. Like what do you not want to play into? What is the enemy team really good at? Like that Goyo was taken away in Villa. I mean, Goyo is an interesting one. Some people just hate him, some people love him, and the potential lockdown that he does offer. So it'd be interesting to see what we see let through and what we see denied away, and we could see potentially some of those out there picks.
Indeed. So as we get this started on Coastline any second now, will be Downfall at blue team for tonight's series and Unrefined at orange.
Yeah, and it will be an interesting one for sure. And largely, yeah, exactly what you said. Whoever is on defense defense first seems to sort of pick up that advantage going through these series. Obviously, in that first game, Legality started on defense. They had a spectacular performance. And then the other two maps, they started on attack. And it was not clean. It was not cohesive. And it's just, maybe it's because they practice defense that much more. They're more familiar with it. And it just suits their play style a little bit better.
Yeah.
But in saying that, obviously, it's the second series of the night. These guys have been waiting a little while. It is getting a little bit late. I don't know, but quite what time it is for you, but it is after 11 for me. So if there are any New Zealand players on the roster, it is getting pretty late. I mean, there's not really a hell of a lot to do tomorrow because we're all still stuck inside because of the current situation. But we are getting into Coastline, Consulate's next. I am excited. What are we going to see out of the band, Sam? What do you want to see? If this was you were the coach of either of these teams, what would you be telling your team to ban right now?
I'm banning the Nomad. She is so strong, so very versatile in the way that she can play and deny those two staircases. There's only two staircases on this map for proper vertical rotation. Obviously, you can jump down through the lobby if you want, but instead we see the Gridlock, a similar operator in her role, with Rome Denial being banned by Unrefined.
Yeah, they fill that same sort of niche position, denying that rotate potential. Obviously, the Gridlock Stingers are an absolute nuisance to deal with. You have to give away your position in the, sorry, I've completely lost it. Sorry, you have to give away your position in the process of denying away those Stingers. Destroying them just gives away everything. Hibana is the one denied by Unrefined here. So, no, Downfall banned that one out. So, we are now coming into the Defenders bans. I wouldn't be surprised at all if we see the Echo potentially. I mean, maybe the likes of the Clash, because it was so impactful.
Possibly. But instead we see the Mirror ban from Down. Interesting. She can be a force to be reckoned with, but also dealt with quite easily at times. A bit of a mixed blessing in terms of teams. But I think that's a solid ban from Downfall. And we see the Echo, as you said, Panda.
Yeah, I mean, as much as, I theorize that there could have been other bans that are taken away, Mirror is basically the standard stuff. Just because of what she offers in terms of basically free information gathering. You can see that one-way window. You don't have to worry about getting your head taken off unless there are the likes of the Twitch drones on the map. But we don't have to worry about that whatsoever. We are getting into operator picks here for both Downfall and Unrefined. It's all basically the same stuff as we've been seeing all night so far. The Twitch, though, is one we have yet to see picked up. It was picked and then 6 picked out as well. So it is, again, going to be 6 picked here. What is Sig going to go? It's that Nomad. It's the one you were talking about. That Rome Denial is going to be picked up here in the first round for Downfall.
Yeah, we see our first defense from Unrefined here will be on the classic site Hookers and Billiards. A well-played site. Lots of different strategies for both teams to enact here, and especially with the use of our Castle and Mute combo. Should be quite interesting.
Yeah, most definitely. They are setting up reinforcements going down those rotate holes, as well as the classic breach, I would imagine, onto that little stair peak, which a lot of teams opt for. And I mean, it is going to be an interesting one for sure. This is sort of where you gauge the potential of your opponent in these opening rounds. See what they're capable of. Obviously, with this map pick being Downfalls, it makes, surely they'd have the advantage going into this, but that's not to say that, Unrefined don't play it at all. It's just maybe it is their map. They just got it picked away from them.
Yeah. Now, Coastline is an interesting map. A lot of the defensive objectives rely on what I sort of refer to as satellite defense, where you don't have to defend the objective itself a lot of the time, but rely on defending a lot of the adjacent rooms. For example, we see the Jaeger of Paper Oranges sat there in Aquarium. If you could hold that, you can deny access to Hookah. and to pool tables rather. If you can deny access to VIP, you cut off another route for the attackers to enter through. So it's all about playing around the site.
Yeah, and we already see that window is opened up in Billiards, and a little bit of early damage put onto Vexy there. Maybe looking for that spawn peak, which we saw in our last series. Some of them did work, some of them didn't at all, and it looks like we're playing a slower style of Rainbow Six here compared to our last series. Both teams are just taking it easy, looking to gather what vision they can. The attackers are droning out, and we see the defenders just passively playing these sites. The only one that really isn't is going to be Don't One Tap Me, who is rotating around on that vigil up on the second floor, looking for potentially to find some information. But in saying that, there is Taster on the Buck, who will be opening up some of these floors, looking for that vertical play, which can be hugely impactful throughout these rounds.
We see that Tap actually gets killed by Kaiser after you walk past and takes a whole load of damage. Peeking Hookah Door now, Valentino takes a small bit of damage, but in return puts about 20 odd onto Doc. He just self heals right back up. They're trying very hard to get Paper Oranges out of Aquarium with no luck so far. Contesting on the rappel and behind the desk as Paper Oranges rotates to a slightly new position. Things are popping off. Vexy gets the pick onto Paralyzed now as Tester gets the second onto Benny. It's a 5v2 now. Unrefined, 5v1. It is GSF all left by himself to clutch it out on the first round of our series tonight.
Yeah, it is Doc all alone. It will be GSF Toad looking to try and clean this up. He finds himself in a 1v5, a rough spot for the best of players, and it really will define whether or not he can do it, but it is a clean, flawless round for Downfall. Valentino taking that one away. So Downfall establishing themselves in the first round of Coastline here, and I mean, it wasn't at all the defense we had expected, considering that so far tonight, the defense has been the most impactful start for either teams.
Yep, and clearly Unrefined aren't happy with the way they defended that and are going back to try and defend. Actually, no, they've just switched to a kitchen defense, instead bringing a Legion. Now, that will be interesting because the IQ is also being run by Valentino. So while there's a little counterplay at work, I think that Legion will still provide the opportunity for a lot of intel on the part of Unrefined.
Yeah, most definitely. We also see Paper Origins picking up that smoke. Don't One Tap Me Please has switched to the Jaeger, so they've got the entry denial there as well as having Castle. So things are going to be a little bit harder to get them in onto the site. But obviously, there is that window in kitchen, so that basically straight entrance of it. There's so many different avenues in onto the site. It can be quite rough as a defender to maintain those lines of sight, figure out those angles to gain the advantage where you possibly can. Rotation holes are being opened up as that wall by ventilation is being cleared out. The one reinforcement there, we will see that ADS going down nice and early by Don't One Tap Me as he looks to get them in position so that he can look to impact other points on the map. Deployable shield being dropped there by the smoke. Paper Origins setting it up, so potentially looking for that little bit of a pixel peak as we see those angle holes being opened up as well into bathroom.
Deployable shields have been so strong since their rework. I believe it was 2 seasons ago. With the addition of those slits and the ability to place them closer to walls and objects, they've really become a staple of a good defense, and that's why we often see the smoke being brought with the deployable shield. And we'll see if it has any sort of effect on holding the objective.
Yeah. Most definitely, and we're going to see the rappels starting up, looking for some of these angles. We saw earlier on in the last round, Vexy took a bit of damage as that window was opened up in Billiards. And then we saw later on, Paper Orange is almost having his head cleaned off as Valentino finds the first kill onto Paralyzed. That is going to be the Legion down, which means that Goo Mine production will be stopping here as they are looking into Master here, into the lounge, sorry. And they are already on site. IQ is there looking to set things up, trying to figure out where these cameras and devices are to clear them out and give the team the best opportunity to get in on this first floor, play that vertical game, and look down at the kitchen where that bomb site is.
So we see now they've got most of top floor control. However, Tap is still holding on to Aquarium, hoping to wreak some havoc on the attack of Downfall. As we see pushing down Cool Vibes is the Ash of Kaiser. Will he be able to do anything? No, he rotates. Jaeger's flanking, gets the tap off, takes him down to about 25 health. Spraying through, isn't able to secure the kill now.
Yeah, we're getting halfway through this round. Tester and Kaiser have taken a decent chunk of damage. That is the buck in the ash, so that vertical play could potentially be impacted here. GSF Toad looking to that first floor. He will pick up the kill onto Tester. Kaiser, though, trading out, will pick up the kill onto Don't One-Tap Me, please. That is the Jaeger. Although Jaeger really has done his job already, so Don't One-Tap Me has impacted the round as much as he can with those ADSs. Him dying, it's not overly impactful other than the fact that he can't trade out at this point. It is a 4v3. Looking to those vertical breach holes as we will see the Ash breaching as well. Benny picks up the kill onto Kaiser, evening things up. It is a 3v3. And it is getting to the final minute of this round. GSF Toad very, very worried about the potential of someone being above him. Smoke's going out into those open floors, trying to deny not only the vision, but the peak potential. The castle has been set up with that kitchen entry. Spray going through to that floor above. And unfortunately, that SMG-11 can be a little bit hard to control as Vexy trades out GSF Toad. And it will be a 2v3. 30 seconds left on the map. It is Sig looking straight into that opening there, into ventilation. There is the deployable shield. There is someone there. Behind it, Smoke going out. They know he is there. And we might see the trade. Nomad looking desperately to try and pick that diffuser. Fake going out. They are taking the time. 30 seconds left. Vexy picked up the kill onto Paper Oranges. Double kill for Vexy there. Benny is left. He is the only one here. Diffuse going out. It will be dropped in Benny. It's all up to him, but he gets dropped by Vexy. The headshot to finish him off in round 2.
So we see there, Downfall making great use of those soft breaches. They had the Buck with the skeleton tees. They had the Ash with her Krem breaching rounds. And they had the Sophia with her K79 lifeline. All that destruction, all used to great effect. And we saw Vexy getting those picks from the top and winning them the round. So will they continue? Yes, they brought the Zofia, the Buck, and the Ash again, and we return to Hookah and Billiards for another defensive round.
Yeah, we are winning the last 12 seconds. That 6th pick potential coming out. It will be the Valk switched out for Legion for Paralyze. He's going to be taking that one. And pretty standard stuff out of the attacking side. No changes whatsoever. And we are going to be heading back to Hookah Billiards' room. And it didn't go great for them in the first round. Unrefined weren't quite able to secure anything really, and you've got to hope that they've changed their play style. Picking up that ally could be the tool they need. Those Grisot mines can be a bit rough to play into.
Indeed they can be, indeed they can. And we note again the use of the deployable shield by that Ella will be a powerful tool for the defensive team and something that will have to be dealt with if Downfall want to take this side. So we see now, again, a very traditional setup, rotates between Hookah and Aquarium, coming in, cool vibes again opened up into Hookah, and the Castle once again bought. Now a lot of people hate on Castle, mainly the non-pro league, the non-professional community, but at the higher levels of ranked and obviously in pro league, he is almost overpowered because of the way he forces the attacking team to deal with his devices.
Yeah, most definitely. A lot of resources have to be committed to try and deal with it. The spray through the wall, hitting Don't One-Tap Me just a little bit. I don't know if they necessarily figured out whether it was there or not, but he has been tagged up just a little bit. So the advantage already being established by Downfall as they aggressively spraying through some of these walls. This is a lot quicker in terms of what we've seen out of them so far. That first round, they look to drone out as much as possible. The Grizzle Mine has hit Kaiser there. He is just going to delay it out, wait for that stun to wear itself off. And I mean, they've got in early as the spray coming out from Kaiser takes down the Jaeger. Don't One-Tap Me, please, has been dropped early. Valentino follows up quickly with a second frag and a third onto Toad and Paralyze. A 5v2 currently. We could see another flawless round. Kaiser trading out, or not even trading out, Paper just dropping. And we could see another flawless round. Spray going out. No, they will lose one. Benny getting that kill onto Valentino. A 1v4 again. Another situation we have seen ourselves in repeatedly tonight. And Kaiser cleans up Benny. And 3 rounds in a row for Downfall.
This is interesting. Usually the defenders have the edge, but Unrefined just cannot hold on. They lose the early picks with their roamers, and before they know it, Downfall are on top of them, and they've lost all control of the round. And again, they look to go back to Hookah as the selected site, but instead change it to Penthouse. Will this have an effect on whether or not they win?
Well, I mean, it's been systematic out of Downfall so far. You know, they look for that early information with the drones. They then all push in together, try and get the picks, and if not retrades, if they do lose anyone, and just whittle down the number of defenders to the point where they can just sweep in and overwhelm. And it's really been rough for Unrefined in this match so far. We do see a bit of switch up. The Maestro has been picked up for Toad here. Doc onto Paper Oranges. Paper has played 3 different operators so far in this game.
Yeah, and I think that's important. I mean, as much as it's good having a main or a few mains that you can really excel in, having the versatility to play a wide range of different roles and different operators with different weapons, I think is vital. And, you know, it remains to be seen whether or not Paper can actually get out those frags with these different ops, but hopefully he'll be a bit more useful than he has been.
Yeah, most definitely. We are just loading into this round 4. Yeah, Theatre Penthouse, things are definitely going to be a bit rough going into round 4 for Unrefined. They're struggling as it is so far. And, I mean, the changes can be effective. It just mixes things up, makes it a little bit harder to play into. And that Maestro has been rather impactful. We saw Apples in the last series just commanding on that operator. And I just have to wonder, you look at Downfall, they haven't changed a single thing in the 4 rounds that we have seen them play so far. They've won 3, and they're now in the 4th. Every operator has been the same.
Indeed, it has been. And I think that's for a reason. They've chosen some very powerful operators. Not overpowered, I don't think. Ash mains keep your head on. But I think very strong operators with a lot of versatility, which, as I was saying, is key to a good attack or defense. You have to be able to switch up the way you play. And with operators like Buck and Zofia, it's all too easy.
Yeah, you need to be able to show versatility, especially at high-level esports. To be able to play multiple different playstyles, multiple different operators in Rainbow Six is key to be able to make it to the further levels of pro play. But we are starting this round off, 2.5 minutes left on the clock. Bomb has been found by Downfall. They are just slow playing it, getting those drones in, looking for information. Toad dropped and finished off by Vexy on that rappel. He's looking for more. There are multiple members in this area. He's looking for the angle onto the doorway, spraying through it, gets some damage onto Paper. Isn't quite enough to finish off. He takes some damage of his own. More spray coming through that doorway. There are members there looking for more. He finds another. That's Benny. The castle gone. Double kill for Vexy so far in this round. He's playing spectacularly so far.
We see that the Buck of Tester also going underneath to add in some pressure, but perhaps what he doesn't realize is that "Don't tap me, please" is sat there as Valentino gets another pick onto Paralyze. Valentino and Vexy are just leading the way for Downfall. It's Paper Oranges left by himself, clutch it out. He gets one onto Surge, but Valentino again getting the pick onto Paper Oranges. Unrefined just aren't winning.
I mean, Unrefined, unable to contest is the way it has been going. It's just been systematic out of Downfall, and their name is definitely apt in this situation. They are the downfall of Unrefined right now. There's nothing that seems to be, capable coming out of Unrefined in terms of contesting what is being done. Again, we're seeing the exact same picks coming out of Downfall. Nomad, IQ, Zofia, Buck, and Ash. There is the 6-pick potential, but if it works for them, why not stick to it? And again, we see Paper Oranges swapping onto a different operator. This might not necessarily be a case of, showcasing that you can play different operators, but desperately looking for something that works into this Downfall lineup as we head to Blue Bar Sunrise.
Yep. Now, last round we saw Vexy playing that window, and he got 2 picks from that. And the reason that was because the castle and the dock peeked him. And when someone like Vexy has a great gun and has a good pixel peek on you, you cannot be peeking those angles. If they didn't peek those angles, they may have been able to hold on and instead get the pick on another operator. So it's all about choosing those battles. And as it is, Unrefined just are choosing the wrong ones to pick.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many different opportunities for them to hold sight, hold angles, which will work for them. They're contesting things out through these windows, which is where, the attackers want to be taking these fights, and it's definitely not working for them. We do see the Cav being picked up here by Paper Oranges. He's 1-0-4. Maybe this rotate threat could be what they need to be able to take this. And, I mean, Kavira it's really hit or miss. If you don't get that interrogator, if you don't get the information you need to carry it the rest of the round, and Benny already taking some damage, and I think, unfortunately, it was a bit of friendly fire.
Yeah. As you're saying, Kavira, high risk, high reward. that Louison it's more reliable than it has been in the past, but you still got to land your shots. And so Paper Oranges, the way he's going at the moment, need to make sure that he can get those shots off, as we see an early push from Kaiser into the offices being droned in, and goes straight for the breach onto Blue Bar.
Yeah, and they're already setting up line of sights aggressively onto the defenders right now. They have sight of the bomb. The drone is there, giving them as much information as possible. Don't one-tap me, looking for a potential flank play with that little breach hole there. There's the operators there. He won't get it. Vexy again taking the head off of two members. Toad as well being cleaned up by him. Paper Oranges trades out onto Valentino with that shotgun of Caveira. And I don't know what can be done. Paper Oranges drops Kaiser getting that one. Vexy in a position spraying onto these defenders willy-nilly, completely uncontested. He's still sitting full health despite taking so many of these trades. Spray coming out. Kaiser will find Benny. A double kill for him as well. 4-1. This is how every round has gone so far. Paralyzed, running for his life on this castle. This fifth round in the pocket of downfall potentially. But Paralyzed has so much work to do in such little time. Diffuser is out and Kaiser secures the triple for himself and a fifth round for his team.
I think that we will see more of the same. I mean, you have your off rounds and you have, those moments where you just miss your shots, but this is more than that. This is a case of Unrefined just not being as good as Downfall. I think that's the only way to really put it.
Yeah, it is a skill matchup for sure. It's definitely Downfall that are proving that they are more skilled currently. And again, no changes being made as we do head back to Hookah Lounge and Billiards Room for Downfall. They're running the exact same stuff, and it's one of those cases where if it works, it works. So we see some drastic changes coming out of Unrefined here. The Valkyrie and the Mozzie being picked up.
Yep, it's all about intel, and that's what they're going for here. We see the Valkyrie, we see the Mozzie, and they'll be able to take advantage of the attackers' drones, but they do have the IQ, so counters at play, as we see another return to the Hookers and Billiards defensive round.
Yeah, most definitely. The Twitch chat is a little bit of a fan of your pronunciation of Hookah. There, it's not quite as conventional as they would like. They're having a bit of a giggle, so... I mean, you got to make it fun for them. That's what it's all about. We want the viewers to enjoy themselves where they're watching this Rainbow Six Siege going on, and 10 seconds left in the prep phase. It's. I mean, there's a lot of work that needs to be done by Unrefined right now.
Yeah, I think it's my English roots showing a bit, Panda. European heritage, and clearly they're enjoying it, so I'll stick with it. Anyway, we see a bit of a spawn peek here from Don't One Tap Me Please, irony there, and he gets the shots off but doesn't get the kill. Valentino alongside Vexy just playing so well this match, really mastering those operators. And
yeah, I mean, we've seen time and time again where Downfall comes so very close to multiple flawless rounds. It has been a bit rough for them. Valentino did take a decent chunk of damage off the back of that, as we see Vexy again in position to look for some of these angles and take heads off of defenders. As we see the sprays coming out, almost gets the kill onto the Valkyrie, but no, it's actually Paper Oranges who gets the kill onto him. It's Vexy's head that was taken off. Tester gets Benny a 4v3. Now, currently, the attackers are in the building. Sprays coming out onto Cool Vibes. GSF Toad picks it up with the Mozzie. Kaiser is now dropped 3v3 currently. Breaches coming out. The walls are being opened up. The spray as the head was seen of that Jaeger. Paralyzed. Very lucky to get away here. We see the slow beat down of that wall by Serg, the Nomad, opening things up. And it has slowed down just a wee bit, but a lot of aggression early on.
Yep, and once again, we see that vertical play by Tester. He really knows how to take advantage of Buck's skeleton key, and it's netted him that kill onto Benny. So now, as we come up to the halfway point of the round, I think Unrefined are in probably the best position they've been in so far, even with 2 members down and Paper Oranges at 3/4 health.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think they've had a round so far where they've taken down more than one member of this Downfall side, so they've definitely doubled that threat potential there, as it is GSF Toad making his way up the Cool Vibe stairs, just trying to back up his teammate there. The Velcam will be dropped. Tester picking up that kill onto Paper Oranges through the floor. I don't even know if he was aware of what was going on. He was just spraying with that skeleton key. Paralyzed picks up the return frag onto the Nomad. And so currently in terms of health, it is in favor of Unrefined, as Valentino did take a decent chunk from Don't One Tap Me Please. and they are just using those drones, trying to gather some information. They've slowed it down just a wee bit. That information gathering is going to be so pivotal in the last few seconds of this round.
Yes, it will be, as Valentino now pushes in, as well as his counterpart on the other side of the map. They appear to have control. Spraying through the wall now. Cool Vibes contesting it through hookah. There's no picks yet, but Valentino's low enough that one shot will do it. He gets the pick onto Jaeger, though. Also now a one shot as the plant goes down from Testa. We see Cool Vibes being played by GSF Toad, and Valentino retreating now to VIP as Testa jumps out the window looking for the pick.
Yeah, and this is the play. You get the bomb diffuser down, you set up these angles which are hard to contest, and it looks like we may have a run at it from Toad. Valentino very low, still picks up the kill on the paralyzed C4 going out. He will get tested there. It is GSF Toad versus Valentino, who is incredibly low right now. This is the most life we have seen out of Unrefined in this map so far. It is all down to one man. 13 seconds left on the diffuser. GSF Toad has to get in position to contest this. 10 seconds left. He has to get the diffuser here. I don't think he has time, and he is going to get sprayed down. Valentino just going big in this 6th round.
Yeah, and I think it was just an unfortunate case of Valentino only having one angle to watch and poor GSF Toad having too many angles to watch. And we saw he wasted a lot of time checking the courtyard. But anyway, we have reached the halfway point of our first match in this series tonight between Downfall and Unrefined. As we switch over, the first defensive round from Downfall will be defending Blue Bar and Sunrise.
Yeah, and we are heading into the halfway point, but that C4 from GSF Toad was unbelievable. It was enough to even up the rounds. Unfortunately, though, he wasn't able to take it out. And Valentino, just spectacular on this attacking side, is now playing that smoke in defense. We are going to see a bit of a change up. And once again, we see pretty similar things coming out of the attacking side. The only real difference is that it is a Jackal instead of the Nomad.
Yep. It'll be interesting to see how exactly Downfall choose to terraform the site here, choose to defend the site. Again, so often tonight we've seen the castle being played, and he's just being used to great effect. Obviously, we will get to see if one of our top fraggers, Valentino, can work his wonders with the SM11 on smoke.
Yeah, it is one of those guns where the recoil can be a bit of a pain to control, but it's also one of those guns that can come up big in terms of clutching out fights when you've run out of ammo or you're too far away for that shotgun to be effective. And we are coming into the last few moments of this prep phase for the defenders. Tester on the Valkyrie is going to be providing a lot of vision. And, I mean, in terms of the attacking side, you look at the kills and everything, and Zerg, he's got nothing because his teammates have taken it all away from him.
Yeah, he's. I think he's been not very influential, but he's been there and he's been playing the operators that he needs to be to ensure that his team kills, and that's the mark of a good team player. And it's not often that you see a person completely forego kills by choice, at least.
Yeah, I mean, it's not necessarily the person who has the most kills that put the most effort into the round. There's so much that goes into picking up some of these frags. There's intel gatherers, there's, utility players setting up those flashes so that those entry fraggers can pop off and look good. And big props to him. He's been doing his job consistently throughout this game. And, it's Unrefined. They're already into the building. They haven't really bothered to do as much information gathering as we saw Downfall doing. They're just looking to push in aggressively. They are on the second floor. Spray, though, out of GSF Toad. Starts the round off well, taking out Vexy, who has been an absolute menace. A thorn in the side of Unrefined, ironically, as GSF Toad was pulling out that goo mine.
So we see there Jackal's Inox getting used, and also Paper Oranges stepping on the Legion line. Still doing work beyond the grave, Vexy is. Tight angle, though, being held by Testa onto Cool Vibes, as we see the castle as well, also impacting his castle grenade, trying to get those picks. Peeking now. Doesn't notice that one's on white stairs, and the GSF Toad will get another pick. It's a 3v5 now in favor of Unrefined. Interesting to see. Possible comeback story, Panda?
Potentially. I think it was more just the impatience out of Downfall there. They looked too aggressively trying to find these picks, and, the castle unfortunately loses out there. Don't one-tap me, please. Picks up the kill onto Testa. Now a 5v2 and another flawless round to start our half off, but this time it's Unrefined getting it, and GSF Toad going huge.
I think there must be a full moon tonight because things are whack.
I mean, yeah, this has been the weirdest 2 series we've seen so far. First one was, a shutout from one side, an even game in the middle, and then a shutout from the other side. Now we're seeing, going into second half 6-0, and then that we see a flawless round of a team that hasn't picked up a round yet. What is going on, Sam?
Some weird things at play as ever in this beautiful Rainbow Siege. So we see again another blue bar Sunrise defense. Downfall determined to hold on to this site and not choosing for one of the more popular options in Hookah's penthouse. We'll see a similar lineup again from the attacking operators as well as the defending.
Yeah, and they have picked up their Jackal to deal with the rotation threat. Obviously, the Nomad, the other option, as Gridlock was banned away. And heading into this round 8 match point on the line. Downfall don't have as much work to finish this one out, but they've got room to work with. They've got rounds to play with. They don't have to, go too hard. They can play around a little bit, try out some different strategies. But, I mean, that's one option, or you just close it out. You absolutely dominate the series, make it the shortest of the night so far. And it's just, it was a good show from Unrefined in the last one. Can they carry on that momentum, though, is the big question.
Well, it's the same site being played again, so it's always a possibility. However, they do seem to be setting up slightly differently on defense. A heavy roam being shown by Downforce if they look to hold Aquarium, which will be vital in holding on to Blue Bar.
Yeah, most definitely. We're seeing hatches open there by Sig, who still has yet to pick up a frag, which is ironic considering every single member of Unrefined now has themselves a kill. So he is currently the bottom of the scoreboard, despite the fact that his team is up 6-1 at the moment. As we see the spray coming out, we have a bit of spelling going on, although Sig needs to work on his handwriting. Don't one-tap me, please. Accidentally takes out paper oranges. I don't even know what was going on there. They were both on the roof. There was no one that they were aiming at. Maybe a bit of a disagreement, team dysfunction going into this 8th round.
Who knows? And I'm also not sure if RFF is active in this game. Would be pretty funny if it was. But either way, Unrefined, who are already struggling in this match, are now a man down. They've even gotten in the building, but Benny gets the opening pick onto Vexy now from the office as Unrefined take control of that top floor. Cool Vibes, though, is being marked by Kaiser, and he's not going to let go of it with a fight.
Yeah, this might be one of those moments, they're taking things easy as we see the spray coming out. Benny getting dropped there by Valentino through the frag, wasn't able to land it. As I say, it could be one of those moments. Another spray coming out, and it will be GSF Toad cleaned up the double going into the pocket of Valentino. One of those moments where you sit up and say, you know what, we're going to take things for serious now, but it doesn't look like that is the case as they are down to just 2 members to the 4 of Downfall right now. They looked a bit more serious in that last one, but I just don't think Downfall are going to let this resistance stand as the spray comes out. Don't one-tap me is downed, unfortunately, and won't be able to help his team out as Valentino cleans things up. What a spectacular game.
That was a quad kill for Valentino, if I'm not mistaken, in that final round, getting that pick with the shotgun right at the end, and a standout performance just being beat out for the MVP spot by Vexy. But overall, an easy win for Downforce.
Yeah, most definitely. We'll be throwing things to map 2 very soon. There's only so much to talk about in a complete shutout like that. So what we'll do is we'll save our breath. Valentino, you see they're leading the scoreboard 13-1-3. And poor Serg, 0-0-3, the bottom of things as it is. But what we'll do is we'll throw it to a quick break. Sam will be back for the next map, which is going to be Consulate once again. We'll see if Unrefined can take it back. See another reverse sweep, but I don't know if that's possible with the performance we've just seen. So don't go anywhere, guys. We will be right back.
Watch your man go dumb, go stupid. If you're the best, improve it. Got no words, be quiet, stay moving. I got a bag, won't lose it. Lose it. Niggas get substituted. Nigga, you're not recruited. Cause you're too damn scared to use it. The truth is, you're useless. What? I'm ruthless. Yeah, I've proved this. Keep capping, I'ma leave you toothless. What? You're so dumb to choose this. Yeah, ain't going outside. I make it work. I'm in my bag. That's every purse on my back. Is that your girl? She got an ass. She make it twerk. And why you mad? I got her her first. You say you rap, you got a verse. I say that's whack, you probably hurt. Back to the lab, you gotta search. On my contra shit commando. Pulling up with clips extendo. That's no game Nintendo. I don't ever run out of ammo. I'm gon' need me a benzo. No fake friends, no pretend. No. Think I might have found my 10. Posted up in my tent. Watch your man go dumb, go stupid. If you're the best, improve it. Got no words, be quiet, stay moving. I got a bag, won't lose it. Watch your man go dumb, go stupid. If you're the best, improve it. Got no words, be quiet, stay moving. I got a bag, won't lose it.
Why are these boys so stupid? Counting me out, now I'm counting my money. I'm probably gon' cop me a new wrist. Y'all gon' think I'm a nuisance. New style, know me, who this? Yeah, bitch, I made some improvements. Me and the gang been bowling. Your shawty gon' think we the coolest. Elizay say we got clips. We bout to make it a movie. I make a hit I can't miss. Damn, the charts might sue me. The way I be stacking my chips, stack it up. Probably the bank gon' sue me. Watch your man go dumb, go stupid, cause your mans can't fool me.
On my contra shit commando. Pulling up with clips extendo. That's no game Nintendo. I don't ever run out of ammo. I'm gon' need me a benzo. No fake friends, no pretend. No. Think I might have found my 10. Posted up in my tent. Watch your man go dumb, go stupid. If you're the best, improve it. Got no words, be quiet, stay moving. I got a bag, won't lose it. Watch your man go dumb, go stupid. If you're the best, improve it. Got no words, be quiet, stay moving. I got a bag, won't lose it.
Harder, because I've come to claim my throne. Never letting go. These wings carry me. Live this fantasy. Running through the fire, fire. Gonna let it burn. I am the Messiah. Gonna let it burn. I'm running through the fire. Gonna let it burn. I am the Messiah. And I live this fantasy. Running through the fire, fire. Gonna let it burn. I am the Messiah.
All right, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the AEC Rainbow Six Minor League. I'm Bluepanda still, and joining me once again is Sam. We are heading into map 2 of our second series. I mean, there's potential for map 3 after our first one, but Sam, it's not looking great for Unrefined at the moment.
No, it's not. And I think when you say potential, Panda, it's very, very loosely defined. Potential in the same way that there's the potential for a flying car to appear over your head right now. Very small chances, I think, but hey, like we've said before, we're having a weird evening tonight and we can see anything happen. So I think Unrefined will just need to come to this with their heads high and do their best.
Yeah, I mean, upsets have come from stranger positions than these. 7-1 in the first map, which was Coastline. It was the pick of downfall. We are now on Unrefined's pick, which is Consulate. And it's one of those maps, again, which can be a one-sided shutout if given the opportunity. Is downfall on defense for this one. I mean, the way we've seen them playing, Valentino, Vexy have just been on point. The only real resistance that Unrefined showed definitely came out of the man GSF Toad.
Indeed it has. So we'll get to our first ban here, which will be an attacking operator by downfall, and that will be the Jackal. Ever important in hunting down the roamers on this big map, the Jackal ban will go a long way to supporting their defensive efforts.
Yeah, pretty standard for a first round defense, or first half defense ban, I'm pretty sure. Well, yeah, it's exactly what it is. Why did I say pretty sure? It's late. It's after midnight for me now. It's getting into the darker hours of the evening. But we are heading into the second attacker ban. It will be that Blackbeard again. I suppose it is a very window-heavy map, this Consulate. So being able to deny basically that headshot immunity of that Blackbeard is a pretty smart read.
Indeed it is, especially when you're attacking that upstairs site, that console site. Blackbeard is so strong in those console windows, especially if you have someone watching. Anyway, final defensive pick for Unrefined will be the Mira. Seen her banned a lot tonight, and for good reason. She is too strong if left unchecked, especially on the Consulate map.
I'm pretty sure, Mira is one of the most respected operators currently in, the way things are played in Rainbow Six at the moment. She offers so much, so defensively, and it's pretty standard ban almost all around the world at high-level Rainbow Six. And it's Echo, another one which is traditionally banned out on defense, that bomb plant denial, bomb diffuser denial. It can get a bit confusing, but denying the diffuse is so impactful, especially when you can do it from any position on the map with that yokai. It's so annoying to deal with, but we are heading into round 1 of Consulate in the second series and second map, in fact. We're heading down to Garage off the bat, and we will see Bexy playing potentially. No, it's going to be the Legion switched out. Valentino on that Bandit. No, again, switched out onto the Vigil. They're just mixing things up. And it is a Maestro pickup as well for Seg, who, he's still looking to pick up his first kill in the series, let alone the map.
Yep, and we see that 6th pick there from Valentino from the Vigil to the Pulse, and on the half of Unrefined from the Sledge to the Lion. Interesting pick there. Lion is very good, but with the Jackal banned, the anti-roam abilities of Unrefined will be boosted slightly now with the use of Lion.
Yeah, there was the gridlock potential there, the Nomad as well, and Lion is great and all, but the nerfs that he did receive after his initial release kind of gutted his information gathering potential. It doesn't necessarily reveal as much as previously, but we are going to be seeing that one picked up by GSF Toad, who did pick up a rather impressive quad kill in that first map. And the utility being put down here by the defenders. We see 3 C4s on the board for Valentino, Tester, and Kaiser as well. Valentino looking to roam around with that Pulse, is going to be trying to gather as much information off the initial push from these attackers. He is sitting in lobby there, just above the hatch, trying to find out that drone, the one belonging to Paper Oranges there. So they do clear out a lot of the drone potential, covering up that hatch, and we see the Lion drone going out already. And a lot of the defenders here not really caring about the information it's offering, as they are just continuing to run around.
Yeah, and we saw there as well, Lion using the DMR. Now, after their recent buffs, the DMRs are very strong. Some would say stronger than a lot of the automatic weapons in the game. But by the way that Valentino has set up here, he gets the info on those 2 ops sat outside admin and may go for the Nitro Cell kill. But either way, he knows exactly where they are.
Oh, he's looking for it. The Nitro Cell. He knows he's there. He's got it. The kill onto Paper Oranges off the bat. The first frag of the second map going to him. And unfortunately, they aren't able to gather anything. And another one, Tester throwing out the second C4 onto GSF Toad. The Nitro Cell coming in clutch here. And they have yet to fire a single bullet on this defense side. They've just used Nitro Cells up until this point. We see a couple of shots coming out now. Don't one-tap me, please. Has almost been one-tapped. He's on a sliver of health. That Ash going to be pivotal in some of this vertical play, which I don't even think we'll get to see, as Valentino goes in for the melee, cleaning up that kill. And we see sprays coming up. Paralyzed drop very low. The only one losing health in this round has been Valentino. Spray going out is Tester. In a bit of trouble there. Almost getting caught by the rotation. Spray going through. Drops Paralyzed. Another spray going out towards Benny. It is one attacker left with anything to contribute to this round. He's holding. He's trying to get something. The spray going out. He gets the drop. Benny putting in a bit of work. Nitro Cell finishes off Paralyzed. And Benny spraying through will clean up Bexy. Benny gets another one. A double kill. Valentino there dropped. Tester, Kaiser, and Zerg looking to do what they can, and they are looking for the angles as we see Benny running out. He might be cleaned up here as the swing comes wide, and Tester cleans that one up, securing down for round 1 of Consulate.
What an explosive round that was. It went from very passive play to suddenly 1 Nitro Cell kill, 2 Nitro Cell kills, 3 Nitro Cell kills, and all the shots landed by Tester and Valentino as well, coming in with that cheeky knife. Certainly an interesting first round for our second map here of this night's series, as we see our defenders move up to console office and meeting room, a natural progression of sites, and we see the Lion again being brought by Unrefined.
It's the initial information that it does offer. I suppose there's only so much that can be gathered with the mobility of these defenders, and I just don't think they quite respected that vertical gameplay this side of Unrefined, not moving as quickly as they probably should have. The 6th pick there, switching out Twitch for the Hibana. It's going to be in the hands of Benny there, who we saw pick up a couple of clutch kills at the end of the round. Unfortunately, not able to transition it into any sort of lead going into the last few moments. He did get traded out by the man on that Valkyrie Tester. So, I mean, we're getting the initial preparation phase done and dusted. Reinforcements going down all over this top 4. And, you know, it's going to be the cam set up from the Valkyrie. And I wouldn't even be surprised if we see a cheeky spawn peak coming out here.
Anything's possible. I think what happened last round was they knew that there was a pulse being by Valentino, but they didn't react to it. They still rushed in and they stood still. And when you know there's a pulse and you're trying to push the officers, you got to play the floor is love. You cannot stand still for any second.
Yeah, I mean, they had the IQ as well. They just weren't using the tools they had available to gather information, potentially look for that vertical play coming out. And we are into the thick of things. The round has started, and it is Paralyzed running forward, looking to see if there is anyone aggressively peeking out at any of these windows. They will be running and looking to gather information. It is another aggressive start.
Indeed, and we've seen that a lot tonight, especially in our previous match between Insidious and Lethality. This match has certainly been a lot more passive in terms of speed, but still picking up the pace a bit as the drone goes up yellow stairs and the impact from GSF Toad, putting pressure onto the closet, spraying through, but he won't find anybody. Picking it now, though, will be Valentino with the SMG-11, looking for the pick, knows exactly where GSF is, but won't be able to find him.
Yeah, and the Valkyrie cams outside are going to give him information. SMG-11 spray going out onto GSF Toad. Does a bit of damage, not going to find anything. Don't one tap me, please. Opens up this round with the Sig, who has... he's had a rough performance despite how the rest of his team are doing so far. A lot of utility coming out of him. Unfortunately, not able to translate it into any kills, which looks bad on the stats, but there's so much more that goes into a game of Rainbow Six than just the kill score.
Exactly that. Now we see Don't One Tap Me Please again repelling on that window. Now that is key to cutting off rotations as Valentino gets the shot off onto GSF Toad and the diffuser is stuck on the roof. The ED1 scan comes out from Paralyzed. Not doing anything though as Kaiser's sat there in that safe little corner. Peeking the yellow stairs will be Paralyzed, but he won't find Valentino, who's just keeping safe, waiting for the timer.
Yeah, they're playing it reasonably passive. They know that if they just wait it out, this is where the defenders are the strongest. They play passively, they wait, and eventually the attackers will have to come for them because obviously if they don't get the diffuser down, their game is over. At least the round is anyway, but it is definitely heading that way. There's advantages being picked up by either side. The scan coming out once again. Nothing gonna be gained here as IQ looking to pick up any form of information, looking for gadgets, looking for electronics, but there's nothing there. There's no pulse on the board, so you're not going to be able to find out any players. It is Ella on the other side of that reinforced wall. Sprays coming out, the down going on favor oranges as well as the kill. We will see Grisant Mine being dropped. Double kill for Kaiser as he hits the head of Don't One Tap Me. That's the situation he didn't want. Paralyzed picks up a return kill onto Vexy. A 3v2 currently in favor of Downfall. They find a fourth down. Is Paralyzed. Benny left alone. He's got a lot of work to do again in this situation. A 3v1 effectively. He's looking for what he can on the Sabana, but he doesn't. He does have a fuse, sorry, and he's looking for the headshots. He will find one onto Valentino. Benny again putting in work in the last few moments of this round. Fortunately, he will be cleaned up. Kaiser picking up that kill as Tester finally claims Paralyzed as his own.
What a round from Kaiser there. We saw him bide his time, wait for the enemies to come in. He got one, he got two, he got three, all coming in through the same door. And that is the power of Ella and that ungodly Scorpion. That machine gun can just hurl lead at anything that you point and click. And it's netted those 3 kills there for Kaiser.
Most definitely. As we head into round 3, a bit of a switch up here for the defenders as we see some unorthodox picks. It will be a Warden and a Goyo here. There is potential for that 6-pick swap out. But, I mean, the way things have been going for Downfall, I wouldn't be surprised if they did opt to stick with this as we are heading to lobby press room as well. No, 6-pick. Kaiser is going to play it safe. Switch out to the dock, but it is still Tester playing on that Goyo who has become rather popular in the high-level community in what he offers in terms of not only, you know, entry denial, but that delay in terms of getting attackers on the side.
Yeah, and we talk about it time and time again. We see deployable shields being brought by the smoke. We see barbed wire. That's 6 lots of barbed wire able to be bought by this team. We've got the Nitro cell from Tesla, plus those 3 shields, those 3 Goyo shields, that is. It's just too much to deal with, and that's why we see the rise of what's being called the 20-second meta, where nothing is being happened in the attacking round in the last 20 seconds. Now, we are not seeing that, but will we see that? Who knows?
Yeah, and the prep phase is coming to an end. The Vertical will play as we are in the lobby as well. So, I mean, that's where things start to get scary. The attackers are on site, and then all of a sudden, they're just having lead sprayed at them from above. Because traditionally, you see a lot of defenders holding that first floor site, looking for those destructible floors to gain those angles and picks on us. It's exactly what we're seeing. Kaiser on that dock is looking towards these scary little angles, which you may not expect to find people looking at you through.
And that's the beauty of Rainbow Six Siege right there. Every round is different because you can always open up different ones. Vexy now sees the GSF Toad coming in, but doesn't go for the pick. Perhaps thinks there's another GSF Toad, though, going very fast and aggressive into the side. But he does get noticed by the Maestro. Likely Goro Shield goes out. He's contested. He gets shot down, but gets the shot off on Tester. He's low health, though.
Yeah, he does get dropped eventually by Cirque, who gets his first kill of the series. The man has done it. He's brought it back, and we are starting to see the synergy of the Goyo Shield with the Maestro Evil Eye, being able to detonate that Raging Inferno on the back of those shields willy-nilly from around the map is a pretty scary prospect to play into. It is Tester, though, who has been dropped on the back side of it. And a lot of patience being shown by Valentino on those yellow stairs. Vexy, though, picks up the kill onto Don't One Tap Me Please. The man has been shot in the head so many times. I can understand why he's opted for that name as Vexy. Finds himself a double spray. He's going out. The pistol has been pulled. Kaiser not quite able to hit his shots, but Paper Oranges did drop Vexy. It is all up to him on the Capital. The spray, he sees the head, but it is Sir getting another kill. The man is popping off.
And yet again, another round goes to down. Will Unrefined be able to pull anything out? Will they be able to move on to the third map? Will their night end in a 2-0 match loss?
Well, I mean, all these questions will be answered as we carry on further and further into this game. You got to admire them, though. They are sticking with it. Some teams, the man has been shot in the head so many times. I can understand why he's on the name is Vexy. Finds himself a double spray. He's going out. The pistol has been pulled. Kaiser not quite hunting down multiple members in certain rounds, especially Benny. 3-0-3 right now. Has had a couple of clutch kills, being the only one left alive, but it is still 3-0. Round 4 starting up very soon. Some pretty standard picks all said and done. Capcan is being switched out over the Ella there, and we won't see the Goyo return, but we are heading back down to Cafeteria Garage.
Yeah, we also see that 6th pick from the IQ to the Hibana. That's just more hard breaching options. And also the Buck from Paper Oranges, again, playing that vertical game and being able to take control of the site while not actually being in the site is a key part of winning on this objective.
Yeah, most definitely. We are getting back into the map for round 4. The way things have been going is we are just waiting on a bit of a load time here. I believe it is Kaiser who is struggling just a little bit, maybe, you know, with the winnings. If they do take it the full way through the tournament, he can upgrade his rig and maybe get into these maps just a little bit faster. But, I mean, with this downtime, you know, it's been an interesting one so far, Sam. Are you expecting to see anything big out of these players as if they carry on through the tournament?
Well, the optimistic part of me wants to say yes, but even he is really struggling to find any sort of excuse to support Unrefined at this point. I mean, time and time again, they've just shown that they cannot hold their own. They cannot hold their gunfights. We saw that Kaiser was able to take out the Hibana with a pistol after already being tagged. These are gunfights that should be won by the attackers, and they should be able to take that top control, but they just can't do it.
Yeah, and there is, I mean, honestly, there is a little bit of a rank disparity. At the moment, Downfall obviously are just that little bit of a superior team. I mean, if they stick with it, though, it does give Unrefined an opportunity to, you know, learn a number of things as they play through this tournament. Yeah, they are going to struggle if they do eventually pick up wins, but, I mean, the amount of stuff that they'll learn from these high-level players playing against them is going to be absolutely massive.
Yeah, so we see again a very heavy roam by Valentino, putting his Capcan traps all around the map. Now, ever since Capcan got his, I suppose you could call it a rework, his traps are a lot more effective in just continually taking away the health of different attackers. They're very small, very easy to conceal, and well, in clutch situations, they may be the difference between a win or the loss in the round. As we get started and Unrefined start to push up towards the building, we will see how they play this.
Yeah, I mean, those Capcan traps can be an absolute nuisance, especially when you come into those very, very stressful moments towards the end of the round. You forget that there potentially is a Capcan on the map, and you run through a doorway, and all of a sudden it's all going off. The explosion and the spray follow-up, as well as we are seeing a pretty standard setup, all set and down on this bottom floor. The attackers are congregating on that north side, looking to potentially try and take a pick onto the yellow stairs, but there's no room given by Downfall whatsoever. And I mean, the thermite charge is coming out, but it does look like they are trying to contest it. Thatcher was dropping those EMP grenades, so Garage is opened wide up right here, and they are careful, paying attention to the fact that there has been those upper level plays from Downfall so far. The frag grenade was dropped. It is below, don't one tap me please. So he almost got a bit of damage from his teammate there.
Yeah, no, I'm a bit surprised actually that no smokes have been bought by Unrefined here, because the way they're playing it, it looks like they want to do a smoke plan on that garage door and go for the quick plant time, but they're not. As Paper Oranges repels in, but manages shot off onto Vexy, a fight that Vexy should have won but didn't. As he walks into circle, he almost gets killed by the Capcan as well, peeking, but it's not enough. Valentino managed to get the kill, equalizing it out 4-all. Peeking now through garage door, GSF Toad gets taken down to about half health by the Valkyrie and Tester. The Maestro Cam providing lots of useful intel now as the breaches get opened up from above, and it looks like Valentino might be going for some sort of flank.
Yeah, Benny is up on the top of the first floor, looking through these holes in the ground, trying to find some sort of angle onto the defenders here. I mean, yeah, exactly like you said, with this sort of setup out of Unrefined. Oh no, as he goes for the drone kill, don't one tip me, please, finishes off Valentino as he avenges his teammate Paper Oranges there. Tester picks up that kill onto GSF Toad. It is now a 3v3. And like I was saying, despite the setup they have here, is they will just peek out with Tester not able to pick up that kill. You would expect something like the Montagne with the smoke grenades, as they have opened up that garage, they can look to get the safe plant off of behind him, but it's not the way they opted to do things. They are struggling to make their way onto the site and get the diffuser down, as we almost see a shotgun kill there by Paralyze. They look for the swing. Sorry, not Paralyzed, by Kaiser, as Paralyze will actually pick up a kill there. So now it is a 3v2 in favor of the attackers. For the first time in a while, Unrefined are in a position where they can take it. They are coming down to the last couple of minutes. Don't one tap me, please. Picks up Kaiser. He gets traded up. Tester is on a double kill. A 2v1. Paralyze and Benny have to push in. 5 seconds left. The spray coming out. Tester saves it. He gets a triple. 2 seconds left. And it doesn't look like Unrefined can take this. Unfortunately, the time runs out. They weren't in position to trade out kills, and Downfall take a 4th round in a row.
Oh, and I think that is Unrefined in a nutshell, Panda, isn't it? I mean, you had it all on a plate. They had, what was that, a 1v3? And
yeah.
they Tester, I mean, credit to him, credit where credit is due. He did an amazing job clutching that out. That shot through the wall to stop the plant was brilliant. But at the end of the day, that wasn't a win for Downfall. That was a loss for Unrefined. That was a silly loss that really shouldn't have happened. That should have been a point on the board for them.
I mean, realistically, with the way things have been going, if I was Downfall right now, I'd be a little concerned that Unrefined were able to find themselves where they were that close to taking a round away from them, as we see the last second switch out. Rather than think it's going to be a blitz played here by Paralyze, which is going to be an interesting one for sure. That fast, flashy shield man is going to be looking to make his way into Consulate for this round.
Yep, and we also see Vexy taking Rook, who's not someone we've seen tonight. So both teams apparently just happy to show off different operators that they can play. As we again wait for our friend Tester to load in. I think everyone's just on. But no matter, we're in the match and we're all still connected.
Yeah, and we are heading upstairs, so it's definitely going to be an interesting one for sure. As the Rook body armor is going to be deployed to his teammates there, so they are just going to be a little bit harder to kill. Obviously, it doesn't protect the head, so all it does take is that quick snap to the head to finish things off. Only so much of an advantage that the body armor does offer, as drones are coming in. They're looking for a bit of vision, trying to set up the plays here. Veltcam's going to be deployed as well. After that drone is cleaned up, that sneaky drone out of Don't One Tap Me Please, who, despite the name, has actually had a bit of a show in this game so far. They haven't won anything, but they've picked up a couple of kills against players who are really, really just dominating this game so far.
Yeah, and we see again Kaiser sitting in that same spot with the shield and the Elemines as Vexy is actually going to use the MP with ACOG to go for a little peek now. He's not going to find anybody. It's not going to stop him from trying, however. But yeah, Kaiser in that same spot. He's just going to get there, and he's just going to wait for the picks to come to him. And then Valentino also gets the pick off onto GSF Toad, an early spawn pick. Very mean. Shooting doesn't get the second, though. Very toxic plays, some might describe it.
It's one of those situations where if a strategy works, it works. You want to pull it out, it gets you that early advantage, so why not opt into that situation? It puts them on the back foot. Not only that, but it's one of those things that we've talked about so many times tonight. It puts you on the back foot in terms of your mental players. Don't tap me, please, through the window. We'll clean up that Maestro, so a lot of that bomb, diffuser plant potential, the denial anyway, is being taken off the map as the frag grenade dropped through the doorway, almost going to take out his teammate there. Not quite throwing it at the right angle. This isn't a friendly game of catch between friends. That is a frag grenade. Bexy picks up the kill onto Paralyze, as he will also get the kill onto Paper Orange as he gets traded out, though. Don't one-tap me, please. Was hot on his heels through that door, looking for that kill. A 2v3 currently. Still in the favor of Downfall, who have been, proved themselves pretty resilient in this matchup so far.
Yep, as we come up to 90-odd seconds left in this round, there is the man advantage before Downfall now. Tester showing off his skills with the MPX spraying through. Valentino gets the pick off onto Don't One-Tap Me Now, and poor old Benny is left outside without the diffuser. Or actually, no, he's just picked up the diffuser. And he's got 60 seconds to work some magic, even though Tester knows exactly where he is.
I mean, we've seen Benny in this situation before. This is where he shines. Unfortunately, he's looking the wrong way, and Valentino will get that one. And I mean, we'd seen him in those positions where he was one versus the world, as it were, but he was looking at that breach hole through the wall, and the rotate comes in, picks it up. Unfortunately, he isn't able to make any sort of flashy plays. We head into round 6, the final round before the half, 5-0 in favor of Downfall. This is exactly how it went in the last game, Sam. Are we going to see a picture-perfect copy of the result we saw in the last map?
I don't think so. I reckon that Unrefined may be able to pull out one defense round, perhaps even two, but they won't be able to hold on. We won't be seeing any sort of over.
Yeah, most definitely. We are getting into the picks here. No, switch out. It will be the Frost picked up here for Valentino as we do head to Archives Tellers. That split level site. Going to be an interesting one to see how Unrefined do approach this. They have the line as well for that potential information gathering. Although, if we see the same sort of start out of this defender side as we did in the last one, we could see multiple members of Unrefined dropping very, very early on.
Now, these Frost mats have been quite ironically dubbed by the community pay to lose because they're significantly, at least the visual look of them is quite like the lead Frost mats, but it doesn't matter if you're vaulting over a window. And by the looks of it, they're looking as if they want to completely shut off the rotates between the two sites and play them almost separately.
Yeah, and we are heading into the last couple of minutes of prep phase of round 6, and we've just had an MVP vote in Twitch chat, and it did in fact go to GSF Toad. The Twitch chat having a bit of fun watching this game. You got to respect the effort that the Unrefined are actually putting into this game, despite the clear disadvantage in terms of skill. They're still sticking with it. They're still giving it their best as we see more spawn peak potential. Unfortunately, though, they're not going to be able to see anything right now. There's not spawned on that side, so they weren't going to get any sort of advantage. I say that as Kaiser takes down the man who won the MVP vote, unfortunately.
Yeah, and Downfall are showing no mercy to Unrefined here, going for the peaks, not even allowing them to get into there. But don't one-tap me, please. Gets another pick onto Kaiser. Now, he's really shining in this environment. Obviously, his team isn't really keeping up, and that shows in the round. A bit of lag there, as we do. But he's got a lot of frags, as he gets another pick onto Valentino, but gets traded out for Vexy instead. Pushing down the stairs, Vexy gets another, but gets downed. It's a 2v2 now. Paper getting that pick there. We'll see what happens. A lot of the rounds still left to go. A lot of things to be done by Unrefined.
Yeah, most definitely. I mean, it shows nothing else if not a huge amount of potential for some of these players on Unrefined. If they stick with things, look to improve, look to learn how to play the game at a high level, they could potentially see them. Well, we could potentially see them playing at quite a high level in the amateur scene as well. But that is a wee way down the track. They've still got to play through this map first, and then look to make those improvements, because there are improvements that do need to be made. Almost losing his head there is Paper Oranges on the bucket. Came close. He almost got his head taken off. And it will be just a bit of a slow play. They're going to delay things out. 1:20 left in this round. And it looks like we're going to see that vertical play start to come in potentially. I mean, they're obviously looking to make something happen here. Unfortunately, there is a Valkyrie available. They could be killed from below. There's potential for the Nitro Cell play as well. I don't think they quite respect the potential, as we are going to see that Cam taken out. And it is respected, in fact. Paper setting things up on top of that desk, trying to deny the shots coming through the floor.
So we see the Nitro go off, but it does manage to get Paper Oranges. Surge getting that kill. Spraying in now. Tester rushing in, only to find that he is alone in the bomb site. So he instead decides to go for the defuse. Whereas Benny is down. Benny has been down. So that will be the 6-0 win there. Tester getting the defuse.
Yeah, and obviously with the round switch, it is the half done now. There's one round to go for Downfall, as we look to go into the 7th. And I mean, this is probably the for fun stage for Downfall. I mean, that, or they're just going to close it out cleanly. It is getting pretty late for some of these players as it is. So just clean it out, finish it up for the night, and look for the next one and take the W here, as we are going to be heading to Console office and meeting room for the first round of Unrefined's defense. Pretty standard stuff. This is exactly the same as we have been seeing all night out of the attacking sides. The Buck, the IQ, the Ash, the Roam Denial from the Nomad, and Hibana. Just an added bit of hard breach there. Not necessarily the Thermite this time, but it is going to be hard. Hibana, and the way they've been playing, surely this is going to be the last round of the series, Sam. Is there anything that can be done other than padding stats for this Unrefined side?
Well, as we so often say, there's always a chance that Unrefined could pull something off. Very small, but it's there. So we see the 6th pick as well, from the Pulse to the Castle by Benny. And so that will allow them to soak up a bit more of that soft breach utility, and perhaps keep their backs a bit more secure than otherwise would be. The Frost as well, using those new deployable shields to great effect on the yellow stairs.
Yeah, most definitely. Pretty standard setup coming out of this Downfall side. Sorry, not Downfall, Unrefined, is they are getting this defense ready for potentially the final round of this series. And it is just going to be standard stuff. There's nothing too out of the ordinary happening. The cap can was utilized pretty well in that last half, so it looks like Unrefined have opted to go for that as well. I mean, the traps are pretty spectacular in allowing you to get follow-up kills after that initial explosion. It is hugely distracting, and if you're not quite paying attention to your surroundings, it can be heavily punished. And it is coming into the main stage of this round. The bomb has been found by Downfall, so they know it is up on that 2nd floor. We're going to see the repels coming out very, very early on. This flashbangs being dropped early. We could see a very early frag out of Test. He's looking to get aggressive into the 2nd floor. They know that the drones are coming in. Paper Oranges and Don't One Tap Me Please set up in this admin office, looking to take the heads off of some of the repellers. And I mean, surely there's not much time left in this game.
You wouldn't think so, would you? However, as Vexy pushes up the stairs, he does get paralyzed. The redrag gets taken by Don't One Tap Me Please, but another for Tester onto Paper Oranges. Don't One Tap Me still going to try to hold this office, but Valentino gets Don't One Tap Me. It's now a Kaiser gets another onto GSF Toad. Last round of the last match of tonight.
And there we go. The writing was on the wall from the start, unfortunately, for Unrefined. They were struggling to pick up anything going into this game too, and they close out a clean, flawless victory from Downfall. Although in saying that, for the match, the skill disparity out of the side of Downfall and Unrefined did reasonably well to take a couple of frags away from this Downfall side. So that is us done and dusted for the series tonight, but it's been a very, very good one. It's been interesting for sure for us to see. It's been unusual, Sam, for sure.
Yeah, and thank you for having me, Bluepanda. It's been nice to be on. Some great plays, some great players at work here in this fantastic game.
Yeah, most definitely. Now, this isn't all for us in terms of the grand scheme of the minor. There's so much more to check out in terms of the Rainbow Six scene, so make sure you keep following things as it is. Check out the socials, of course. Follow AEC Live on Twitter. Make sure you check out Sam. What is your Twitter handle, in fact, so these lovely people watching can find you?
My Twitter handle is @Sam_Thiedeman. And if you head on over to the AEC page, I'm tagged in their post about tonight's matches.
Yeah, most definitely. You can find me at @NZ_Bluepanda. Thank you very much to the production team behind the scenes as well, Snook and Nuttery, making sure that everything you see on screen works as well as it could, considering the unfortunate circumstances we find ourselves in currently. The internet is a little bit taxed in OCE currently, but thank you very much, and a big shout out.
Banter in the Twitch chat.
Well, yeah, thanks for the banter in the Twitch chat. It's been great, guys, seeing you get involved and enjoying this. And yeah, that second map, the second series, second map MVP going to GSF Toad. The Twitch chat coming in large there. But thank you very much. That is all for us tonight. We will see you next time, and a good night.
Send another desperate message on your knees. I got you begging. I forgot I meant to mention, yeah. You ain't nothing when you tryna be slick. You ain't nothing but my honey ass bitch. Call me up, you get petty. You know I wanted this bad. For 4 years I've been ready. Now you gonna make this splash and you wanna go up while I'm bringing shit down. Now this wasn't so tough. You become a bitch clown. I think you should knuckle up once you knuckle up now. I think you should buckle up cause you my bitch now. Yeah. Ooh, you so obsessive, send another desperate message on your knees. I got you begging, I forgot I meant to mention it. You ain't nothing when you tryna be sick. You ain't nothing but my honey ass bitch, yeah. Ooh, you so obsessive, send another desperate message on your knees. I got you begging, I forgot I meant to mention, yeah. You ain't nothing when you tryna be slick. You ain't nothing but my honey ass bitch.
Don't one-tap me, please. The man has been shot in the head so many times. I can understand why he's opted for that name. Is Vexy finds himself a double sprays going out. The pistol has been pulled.
From a droppy in the scene, I feel lucky, yeah. Got them watching from Paris to Poppy, yeah. With this music was lurking, now I'm attacking. Now with the chatting, I just step up and make it happen. It's a lifestyle. Living young and restless, yeah, we quite wild. If I want it, I'ma get it talking right now. And I ain't got no regrets, it's my time.